start with something that I think you and I agree on, and that is that Big Pharma has too much power in Washington. You said that President Trump asked you to, quote, clean up corruption and conflicts. Sounds great. You've said that you will, quote, slam shut the revolving door between government agencies and the companies they regulate. That also sounds great. So here's an easy question.
Yeah, this is for educational purposes, in case anybody wants to hear about what's been going on in the Senate hearings. If you haven't gotten an update and you don't have NBC, you happen to have YouTube only. Yes, educational purposes only. It's also in the description. I usually have all of that in my descriptions of my videos, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. So we'll say it again. Refer to NBC. Yeah, if you want the full context, make sure to refer to NBC and their in-depth coverage of said video I'm about to play.
Will you commit that when you leave this job, you will not accept compensation from a drug company, a medical device company, a hospital system, or a health insurer for at least 4 years, including as a lobbyist or a board member?
That's a silly question. I didn't even hear the question until now when you just had me look at it. Why? Why would it be any benefit for him to take stuff from pharmaceutical companies when he's actually going to make things more difficult for pharmaceutical companies? He's not going to be giving people passes. It's so silly.
Can you just repeat the last part of the question? Can I commit?
You're not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh. Yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with. And I think you're right on this.
I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
Yeah, I don't imagine him trying to shut them down and stop them from freely giving out drugs is going to motivate them to give him money. That's just fucking silly.
Let's keep going. You're right, because to say yes, because every American has the right to know that every decision you make as our number one health officer is to help them and not to make money for yourself in the future. So I want to talk more about money. I'm looking at your paperwork right now. In the past 2 years, you've raked in $2.5 million from a law firm called Wisner Baum. You go online, you do commercials to encourage.
Blah, 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 blah. I didn't let the video play straight through. I'm commenting right now. Blah, 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 blah. Elizabeth Warren.
Encourage people to sign up with Wisner Baum to join lawsuits against vaccine makers. And for everyone who signs up, you personally get paid. And if they win their case, you get 10% of what they win. So if you bring in somebody who gets $10 million, you walk away with $1 million. Now, you just said that you want the American people to know you can't be bought. Your decisions won't depend on how much money you could make in the future. You won't go to work for a drug company after you leave HHS. But you and I both know there's another way to make money. So, Mr. Kennedy, will you also agree that you won't take any compensation from any lawsuits against drug companies while you are secretary and for 4 years afterwards?
I'd feel differently about this. You guys have fucking slandered Mr. Kennedy for, I don't know, how long about vaccines. And if he started winning some lawsuits about vaccines and proving what he was saying and all the hypocrisy in this, yeah, I'd think RFK deserved a little bit of fucking money for how much people ran his name through saying that he was an anti-vaxxer and all this other stuff when he's clearly not. When we've looked at people in, I don't know, hippies were anti-vaxxers before the pandemic just started recently. People were anti-vaccinating their kids for the longest time. You're going to try to pretend that RFK is an anti-vaxxer She's so fucking retarded. Sorry, I don't mean to use bad language, but some questions are just fucking stupid. Isn't RFK the guy who's tapping the vein? He was addicted to drugs at some point. I know he was. Well, I know he's in Alcoholics Anonymous. It's interesting seeing the dynamic between RFK and Theo Von, because Theo Von is somebody that is practicing sobriety, and then watching the two of them connect and go to like AA meetings together. And I don't know what it is. RFK just seems like a very genuine person. He is kind of what you get with him. He doesn't have very many layers to him.
Well, I'll certainly commit to that while I'm secretary. But I do want to clarify something, because you're making me sound like a shill. I put
You're the
together
one who
that
got-
case. I did the Science Day.
Shut up and let him answer, you dumb lady. Lady's the best word I could use there.
Presentation to the judge on that case to get it into
Mi-
court.
Mr.
The Daubert
Kennedy,
hearing.
Mr. Kennedy, it's just a really simple question.
Yeah,
You've taken in $2.5 million. I want to know if you will commit right now that not only will you not go to work for drug companies, you won't go to work suing the drug companies and taking your rake.
No, I'm sorry, Elizabeth Warren. I can't tell you that I'm not going to go work for these people that got fucked over by the drug companies that you guys are taking money from. You guys are getting your pockets peppered by these drug companies, and I'm going to bat for these people that are getting taken advantage of by said drug companies. No, I don't feel bad for taking their side. The hell are we even talking about?
Out of that while you're a secretary and for 4 years after. It's just,
I'll commit to not taking any fees from drug companies while I'm secretary.
I'm asking about fees from suing drug companies. Will you agree not to do that?
You're asking me to not sue drug companies,
No.
and I'm
you
not
can
going to agree
sue
to that,
drug
Senator.
companies as much as you want.
I'm not going to agree to not sue.
Great fucking answer. No, I'm not going to not sue drug companies, and I'm not going to not defend these people that are getting fucked over by drug companies. What a simple answer. No, I'm not going to do your baited question.
Sue drug companies or anybody.
So let's do a quick count here of how, as Secretary of HHS, if you get confirmed, you could influence every one of those lawsuits. Well, let me start the list. You could publish your anti-vaccine conspiracies, but this time on U.S. government letterhead.
Anti-vaccine conspiracies. Wow. You're just allowed to spout whatever you want to finish your sentence. They're not going to make her define that, right? I assume. And Robert's not going to get a chance to say, what do you mean by conspiracies? What part of these are conspiracies? So silly.
Head, something a jury might be impressed by. You could appoint
I don't
people to the
understand that.
CDC vaccine panel who share your anti-vax views and let them do your dirty work. You could tell the CDC vaccine panel to remove a particular vaccine from the vaccine schedule. You could remove vaccines from special compensation programs, which would open up manufacturers to mass torts. You could make more injuries eligible for compensation, even if there is no causal evidence. You could change vaccine court processes to make it easier to bring junk lawsuits. You could turn over FDA data to your friends at the law firm, and they could use it however it benefited them. You could change vaccine labeling.
What's wrong with FDA information being relayed to people? Food and Drug Administration information being relayed to people is a hold on. Maybe I misunderstood what she said. Me.
The law firm, and they could use it however it benefited them. You could change vaccine labeling. You could change vaccine information rules. You vaccine court processes to make it easier to bring junk lawsuits. You could turn over FDA data to your friends at the law firm, and they.
Yeah. What FDA information could you just turn over to a law firm that they would pursue that wasn't illegal. What do you mean? You told the lawyers at the law firm that the FDA was doing something illegal and then they pursued it? What? How dare you? How fucking dare you?
They could use it however it benefited them. You could change vaccine labeling. You could change vaccine information rules. You could change which claims are compensated in the vaccine injury compensation program. There's a lot of ways that you can influence those future lawsuits and pending lawsuits while you are Secretary of HHS. And I'm asking you to commit right now that you will not take a financial stake in every one of those lawsuits so that what you do as secretary will also benefit you financially down the line.
I'll comply with all the ethical guidelines.
That's not the question. You and I, you
That's because you're changing the goalpost with the question. Just make it as simple as you can't be involved in any lawsuits. And he already said, no, I'm not going to say that I can't be involved in any lawsuits or that I'm not going to sue drug companies. Of course, he's going to be up for defending the underdog in this. It's so silly.
You have said
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine.
No.
Good night, Canadian Patriot. Hope you have a good night, man.
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, you are. That's exactly what you're doing.
Look, no one should be fooled here. As Secretary.
Oh my gosh, she looks so much like my grandma right now. She looks so upset. She is scolding him.
Of HHS, Robert Kennedy will have the power to undercut vaccines and vaccine manufacturing across our country. And for all of his talk about follow the science and his promise that he won't interfere with those of us who want to vaccinate his kids, the bottom line is the same. Kennedy can kill off access to vaccines and make millions of dollars while he does it.
The fact that he's making money isn't the problem. The problem on the table seems to be, are these vaccines effective or not? And that's why he's bringing these to the table. You shouldn't have a problem with him making money. You don't have a problem with pharmaceutical companies making money on vaccines that might not be reliable. So the question is, why would you have somebody vilified for taking down said company that was selling snake oil? If the problem is the snake oil salesman, is your problem with the snake oil salesman is you're mad at the guy that took down the snake oil salesman and made money taking him down? I guess I don't understand the question. Will you not take money from the snake oil salesman? This is so silly.
Kids might die, but Robert Kennedy can keep cashing in.
Senator, I support vaccines. I support the childhood schedule. I will do that. The only thing I want is good science, and that's it.
How about then say you won't make money off what you do as Secretary of HHS?